We should be live. That'll be a yes then.
You've got that motion track thing set on your camera, Nick, I think.
Have I?
On Zoom.
Yeah.
It's whatever it's called. I forget what it's called now. It's called
Auto framing.
That's the one.
I'll turn that off then.
Yeah, it does that weird thing where it follows you around everywhere. Do you know what? You wouldn't have thought that was hailing outside earlier. It's now a blue sky with birds tweeting and some sun shining. A litre of diesel. I don't have a diesel car, but petrol is around about £1.55, £1.58.
Diesel's just what, over 180 now?
For that petrol.
Yeah. It's too much.
190 where I am.
Have you seen motorway services? How much they would like to charge you for fuel there?
Probably over £2, I'm guessing.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah. Heating oil's gone down now.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, it's still, 200 quid more expensive than what it was, but it's not 700 quid now for 500 litres. Hello, John. Who's on mute? Can't hear you, John. I know you're talking, because I can see your little mouth moving.
Mm-hmm. 1 minute to clock.
You're all silent, I'm afraid, John. The look on his face, or the cartoon face.
30 seconds to clock.
Blimey, that is a heck of a background, Nick.
Courtesy of Mr. Warner.
You look like a character from some Marvel film that's got like a backpack on.
I can only wish I was.
You're still silent, by the way, John, just to let you know.
By the way, I had the curtains trimmed. I'm a little more...
You have got one hell of a head of hair, Nick.
Why, thank you.
I'm just saying.
Are you flirting with me?
I can say, what do you want?
I mean, no, but look at it.
Hello.
Oh, there he is.
Hello.
Hello.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Hello and Welcome to episode 599 of the Plain Talking UK podcast. I'm Carlos, and in this week's show, BA issue a strict new rule, but will it apply to Seat 1A users? One airline has a new route from London Norwich Airport to Bergerac country, and one passenger's bacon is definitely cooked when he hogs his way through Detroit Metro Airport. In the military this week, Armando brings us another awesome update on the Iran conflict. And joining me this week, honestly, you're making me laugh at the start of the show. Hello, Matt Smith.
Me? Oh, what did I do?
That wasn't you.
I can say I didn't make you laugh. Hello, sorry. You've spun me. You don't normally come to me first. Blimey.
I blame Mr. Wilson for all the
yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
the
fair enough.
fun tonight. Yeah,
indeed, absolutely, indeed. Yes, I'm all good. I'm all good. Thank you. How about you?
Oh, good. Yes. How are things in the world of studio life at PTUK land?
Yes. Grateful to be in a studio which generates an awful lot of heat because, as we know here, the UK has taken a rather irritating plunge in the wrong direction in terms of temperature and things like that. So,
yeah, someone switched down the bars.
Indeed. Well, I knew it weren't right when I could hear the expanding radiator noise that you get.
Oh,
and
yes.
First thing this morning, I could hear the noise of the pipes expanding, and I'm thinking, wait, is it May? Is it March? February? Like, what's going on? So yeah, absolutely, yeah. Bit fresh today. Although next week, I'm pleased to say the forecast is looking pretty good.
Do you know what? Not one morning, but 2 mornings this week. Frozen windscreen.
But I've only had the one on Monday morning. I had to do the old scrapey before I went to work because, like you, I'm out the door sort of 5:30ish, something like that. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it was sort of like scrapey early doors. But yeah, I bet where John is, he doesn't have that trouble, does he?
No, I bet he doesn't. No. More on that in a minute. And joining us from across a slightly cooler and hail hit countryside, it is of course our connoisseur of all things Seat 1A and BA. It's Neville Bounds.
Of course, if you drove a Ford, you would have the heated front windscreen.
Oh, here we go. Yes, yeah. Which is a valid point, to be fair, and I do miss.
Did you know they did patent that for many years, but the patent ran out some time ago, so unfortunately everybody's got it now. But yeah. No, all good here. Thanks very much. Was in London for the day at the broadcast show. Or the media production and technology show it's called. Yes, lots to see my old mates down there. Nice to see them. Haven't seen them for ages. And yes, I was a commuter on the train for a change, but using my senior rail card, so I got a bit of discount. So
I bet that. Did you travel first class, Nev?
Well, no, this is Chiltern Railways, so if you travel at all, then you've done well. This is honestly, I probably shouldn't say this, but this is a company that you could set your watch by the punctuality of their trains years ago. It would never go wrong. In the last, 8 years, 9 years, it's always wrong, although it was okay today actually, but they've had so many different problems on that line, with rolling stock and what have you. But anyway, this is not Plain Train UK podcast. This is Plain Talking UK podcast, episode 599. So not long to go at all, is it?
Are we doing anything for it? I mean,
well, we probably should. Start organising it now.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
You've got some love in the chat room, Nev. Tanya says that your audio is hot.
Oh.
Apparently.
Oh, does that mean too loud? or just
you are a tiny bit louder than everyone else, but
I'll
not a million.
I'll come down a couple of dB.
Not a million miles away from everyone else. So
yes, okay, right, fair enough.
But good to see you, Nev. And unfortunately, it's that time again after today's weather that we've got to wash the cars again this weekend.
Oh, it's awful, isn't it? And apart from birds christening my car today, there's more. We've got African sand coming up? How is that possible with a northerly wind? Yeah. I'm not a geography expert, but even I know that South Africa and the continent of Africa is south of where we are, not north.
I, however, wouldn't have known that, so I'd have just taken it as read, to be fair.
I reckon it's Darren been sending us some buckets of sand from Norway or something.
Right, okay. Do they have a lot of that in Norway?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Fair enough.
So he's back with us again this week, and safe to say that he's had a busy day, flying more so. And it is, of course, our resident A320 captain and sim training captain. It is, of course, Captain Andy. Hello.
Hello. Yes, I have been flying, and I waved to you and Matt on the way past London Norwich Airport today, on my way to Amsterdam, on the way there and on the way back. And I sent you some pictures to show you I was waving.
You should have called in for an expensive cup of tea.
No, I was comfy at flight level 320 in the north there. It was fine. I saw the weather in Norfolk and
yeah.
Not
Yes,
interested.
we've had thunderstorms here today. That's how lovely it's been.
Yes, well, there was some big build-ups over the North Sea this morning that I thought were heading your way.
Yeah,
That
very
looked
much
a bit grim.
Yes, very much so. I can confirm it has been quite grim.
Here's a
Yes.
technical question for you. How do you manage to get to flight level 320 flying from Newcastle to Amsterdam? That's a very short sector, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's about an hour long, and we had unrestricted climb straight through from Amsterdam and London, surprisingly.
Oh, wow.
We were found at flight level 320 as well. On the way down, we went to 290, and again, they gave us continuous climb straight up there, which is very unusual. It was very quiet this morning. I mean, we departed at 20 past 7. It was very quiet on a Wednesday today, which was nice. Have you seen the weather for next Friday? I see it's going to warm up 26 degrees in the south and sunshine.
Yes, I think we're
going to have a lovely day.
I think we're going to be very grateful for our air conditioning in the room that we're in, I think, to be fair.
Get those patio doors wide open, enjoy the sunshine.
And also for the folks that are flying in, there's at least 3 or 4 people that are flying in as well to Duxford, so that'll be great news, won't it, for them?
True,
So,
yeah. Good conditions.
Are you sure your sand, Nev, are you sure it's not continental HS2 sand?
Whoa, don't start me on that.
It could be blown over from the wonderful sites along there.
It's possible. Yeah, absolutely. But, yeah, it looks awful, doesn't it, from the air? Carving out
It's a
into the
massive
place.
scar throughout the country. Yeah, it's unbelievable how easy you can see it.
Yeah.
But I won't trigger you with that, Nev. I'll leave HS2 alone because, like you said, it's not plane train talk in UK.
Question in the chat room for you, Andy. Sturman's asking you, do you always use the same aircraft, Andy?
No. We get given a different aircraft every day, normally. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you fly the same one several days, but it just depends how they rotate them and when what maintenance is needed and when and where the aircraft need to be. Quite often swap aircraft down route so that they can move them around.
There we go. And today, I think today's one was a little 14-year-old number, I think, Andy? Or thereabouts?
If you say so, Carlos, I'll just get on them and fly them, mate.
Yeah, I know. I was stalking you, Andy.
I didn't check the V5 on it.
All right, okay. But we're going to say hello to our resident guy who puts all the stories in for us each week. And he's got a rather interesting background this week, which makes him look like, as I said earlier, a Marvel character with a jetpack on his back. Hello, Nick.
Evening, Carlos. Yes, it's a rather fine photo, courtesy of our good friend Mr. Warner. So, yeah, I thought we'd give that a go this evening.
Yes, and how are things, Nick, obviously with the weather being slightly less good than that has been, I'm guessing the 2 wheels have been firmly parked up.
Well, but to break out the chunky knitwear this evening, which I'm not very happy about. So, yeah, if we could have a nice bit of weather for the 600th, that would be great.
Well, fingers crossed. I will keep monitoring the weather. But I know that lots of the people in the chat room will be joining us next week. And also joining us this week, he's dropped in just for a change and his busy schedule. Hello, producer John.
Hello. How are we?
Good. And how are things with you? Busy, I'm guessing.
Yeah, busy. A lot of chaos in the aviation industry at the moment, especially in the part of the world that I tend to fly in. But yes, Doing pretty okay so far. So yeah, just busy, 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 busy.
Good. Well, that's nice that you can join us this evening, John, especially as it's a week to go until the big 600 show, which is exciting.
Yeah, can you imagine? 600 already.
Honestly, where do all those episodes go? In the folder, which is where they all are. We're going to say hello to everyone who's joined us in the YouTube chat room this evening. Going to kick off the top of the list. He made it in there, number 1 this week. Mazouz, hello to you. We've got Richard Adams in there as well. And we scroll down. There's some fresh names in here this week. Hello to Tanya. She's also in there. Hello to you. Dirk S is in there. John Falk says hello as well. Good to see you, Bill. Hello, Bill. Good evening. We've got Masha. Hello to Masha. Good to see you in there. John Jester's in there. Hello to you. Says hello from the gateway to the west is where John is. See if you can guess where that is. Darren Smith's in there as well. Says evening plain folk. Jordan Rose. Hello, Jordan. Good to see you in there. Long time since he's been in the chat room. Good to see you, Jordan Rose. Sturman's also in there. Good evening, Sturman. Hope you're well. And let me scroll down, make sure I don't miss anyone. Bill, and Sturman, Dirk, and Mazouz. Yep, we're all in there. All the teams in there. And welcome everyone to join us on the show tonight. Good to see you all in there this week. So we've got loads to get through tonight, including a double barrel of the Retro Airline ad of the week. So 2 of those to bring you this week, and a special one that you'll all appreciate, I think, is one of those ones this week where we go back to 1985. I think it is. So if all the teams ready, shall we do some news?
Yeah.
The captain has turned on the seatbelt light. Please take your seats and fasten your seatbelts.
And the first story this week comes from bbc.co.uk. And the headline, "We just hit somebody. Frontier Airlines plane kills runway trespasser at Denver airport." And that's a story that has obviously been big news this week on social media and all the news feeds. And air traffic control audio captured the moments after a Frontier Airlines aircraft fatally struck a person who had jumped a perimeter fence onto a runway at Denver International Airport on Friday night. The audio where the person or the pilot was heard saying, "We just hit somebody," tells the control tower after halting flight 4345's takeoff. He then said that we have an engine fire. Smoke could be seen in the A321's cabin, but Denver Fire Department quickly extinguished the fire, and all 224 passengers on board were evacuated by inflatable emergency slides as a matter of precaution, Frontier said. They said, "We are deeply saddened by the event," and 12 passengers aboard the aircraft reported minor injuries from the incident, the airport had said. 5 of the injured passengers were taken to nearby hospitals. According to airport authorities, their conditions were unclear. The Frontier Airlines flight was taking off from Los Angeles Airport at around 11 o'clock in the evening, local time, when it hit the individual. The unnamed individual had leapt over a perimeter fence 2 minutes before the impact, said the carrier, and an air traffic controller had just told the Frontier pilot they were clear for takeoff and wished them a good night. After a short pause, the pilot came back to the tower, according to the ATC audio, and said, "We are stopping on the runway." The pilot tells the tower, adding that the plane just hit someone. The aircraft was moving at high speed at the time, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said. And late last night, a trespasser, he said, breached the security at Denver International Airport, deliberately scaled a perimeter fence and ran onto the runway. The commercial airliners typically take off at speeds between 150 and 180 miles per hour. I'm sure Andy will back up on that or not. The trespasser is not believed to be an airport employee, and the airport has examined the fence line and found it to be intact, they said in the statement. After evacuating the plane, the passengers were bussed back to terminals as emergency crews responded to the scene. And the majority of the passengers have since left Denver, apparently on another Frontier flight, the airport said. The runway remained closed while the Federal Aviation Administration and the NTSB launched an investigation. And they were extremely saddened by the incident and express our sympathies to those involved. But I think it's been since revealed, I think, guys, on the news in the last 24 hours that I think they know who the person was in question. And I think they've released his name as well, as far as I know.
Very, very sad event. A person being ingested by an engine obviously absolutely destroys it, and the smoke in the cabin was probably from oil in the engine getting into the bleed system. Would have been the main cause, I should expect. But did any of you see the evacuation that took place? Have you seen any of the footage of that?
No.
What do you think they all took with them?
Suitcases.
Yeah. The evacuation was a bit of a mess from that side. But again, crew did all the right things. How do you stop people taking their bags? I think that's the $1 million question.
I mean, I'd say put them in the hole, but I don't,
Yes, well, as we'll see from another story, some of the things in the bags might not be a good idea in the hold.
Okay.
But yeah, I've seen footage of this as well, of the person walking across the runway, etc. I have no idea what must have been going through their mind. It's just crazy. But I think the pilots did a really good job here. There's plenty of runway for them to stop in. I guess even if they were above V1, they probably thought they had to stop in this case because they knew the damage would be quite catastrophic. So yeah, fair play at the crew. Good job, and everybody's safe on the aircraft.
Bill saying in the chat room that apparently 3 people pushed past the flight attendant before one of the slides was fully deployed and blew out.
Well, you can't help humans in panic do things that may not seem sensible to those of us who are not panicked at the time. So, there's lots of human factors studies into this sort of stuff. And I think there should be more done really as well to see what we can do to calm people down in these events. But I guess for those of us who like flying, being stuck in a tin tube is not the end of the world. But I must admit, an aircraft filling with smoke is one of my worst nightmares. So to actually experience it as somebody who knows nothing about the workings of an airplane, it must be quite a frightening experience.
Have you taken a look at the final report of the A350 of Japan Airlines, the one that crashed in Haneda, that evacuated? Very successful evacuation by all means. But one of the things was that a lot of the passengers didn't react very passive with any sort of action to a lot of the commands, in that they heard the brace command at the very, very start, and then they stayed like that until very, very, very far into the evacuation process. And the evacuation took something like 8 minutes. There was a lot of factors in that. But it's interesting that I don't know if that's cultural or if that's, to deal with how people react in different situations. But the people didn't get up or move at all. And it was very difficult to get people to evacuate out of that. It's an interesting read.
I haven't read it, and I should go and read it, because I think there's a PhD in cultural reaction to emergency scenarios, I think. It'd be very interesting. And as John says there, until we're in a situation like that, we don't know how we'll react. Absolutely right. You're totally right. I don't know how I would react, to be totally honest, in that sort of situation. Would I panic? Don't know, because I've never been in it, and I hope never to be in it.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I hope not to have that sort of situation. It's incredibly scary. even doing these in simulators is gets your heart pumping.
I guess I'm
So
a bit numb to that these days because I do it so often in the simulator. Because when I went flying today, I was sat thinking in the cruise. I was sat thinking, this is lovely. Nothing's going wrong. I'm not expecting any failures. Don't have to train anybody. This is very nice. And when you spend your life in the simulator, just concocting situations to put people in, to put them under this stress, maybe your senses to it do become more dulled.
do you think that you'd have a fairly typical, I don't know, how the company might want you to react if you were a passenger on an aircraft and something happened?
Possibly, yeah. Again, because it's the environment that you're used to. I'd probably react. Well, I don't know, but there's potential that I'm maybe calmer than other people around me. There's a lot of people, even though they don't say like, "Oh, I'm absolutely petrified of flying." There's a lot of silent, scared passengers who would only really show how they really feel in this sort of situation.
See, I think for you, Andy, I think your challenge would actually be not to try, because you're so used to being in that left seat that I think it would be the biggest challenge for you would not be how you can cope in that scenario, but how you would be able to not try and take charge yourself, because normally it would be your responsibility, if you see what I mean. So to lead the charge, not necessarily perhaps in the cabin, because obviously, but you know, they're still taking direction and instruction from you, aren't they?
Yeah, very true. But normally when I'm a passenger on an aeroplane, I'm about 4 pints deep, so they wouldn't want me to help them out anyway. So, yeah.
That'd do it.
I will add not drunk on an aircraft, because that is illegal. I'll just add that in there, yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's illegal to be drunk on an aircraft.
Is it?
Yes.
What, as a pilot or a passenger?
As a passenger.
As a
Both.
passenger?
Yes.
I genuinely did not know that.
Air navigation order, you cannot be drunk on an aircraft.
Well, there you are. That's I genuinely didn't know that.
That'd be a lesson to you, Nev, when you head to the lounge next.
Am I
yes.
am I the only one that didn't know that? Okay,
I'm
excellent.
guessing so by the silence there, Matt.
Okay, lovely. All right, well done me.
Oh, dear.
Thank goodness for this podcast.
I know. You learn so much.
Yeah.
Right, Andy.
Yes.
We're firefighting with the next story.
Yes, we are. This is from EuroWeeklyNews.com, and Andalusia readies for wildfire with 4,700 crew and 43 aircraft to tackle summer threat. Over 4,700 professionals are already standing by and prepared as southern Spain activates its reinforced wildfire response for the high danger period running from June to October the 15th. This season brings 3 extra aircraft compared with last year, together with updated ground vehicles and specialist teams to counter potential wildfire outbreaks. Resources include 108 fire engines, with 84% renewed through a $30 million euro investment, plus 11 water tankers. 8 new mobile units replace older models from 2010, backed by a further 1.5 million euros. Aerial assets total 43, featuring 25 helicopters and 14 aircraft supplied regionally, supplemented by state and public enterprise contributions positioned at key sites including Malaga Airport. And logistics can rely on 23 forest defence centres, 11 sub-centres and 3 rapid response bases. 10 landing strips will be ready to support air operations, reinforced by 3 private ones. Strategic watch points number 186, while 88 helicopter water points dot the region for speedy refills. Heavy machinery is entering service progressively, with 2 excavators already actively clearing potential overgrowth and creating fire breaks in forests, along with cherry picker tractors and 25 wood chippers. Technical fire specialists are also beginning limited operations to improve prevention and control tactics. Public job offers add 234 full-time positions across categories, while a new workplace catalogue organises staff with clear roles for better legal and professional stability. Abundant rainfall throughout the winter months, especially record January levels, has boosted reservoirs and forests yet left thick herbaceous growth. This vegetation dries under rising temperatures and turns into fast-spreading fine fuels. Short-term forecasts suggest mostly small incidents, but longer views indicate complexity from accumulated flammable material. Much of the funding from this intensified campaign against fires comes from some 14 million euros of European funding, as well as cooperation with Portuguese border areas on infrastructure upgrades and training. Well, sorry, I stumbled there. I'm not very good with plants and vegetation. I can stick with aircraft, but it's phenomenal. 43 aerial aircraft involved in this, and it looks like they've really got themselves set up for this side, because they had a lot of issues last year with the wildfires. But it's a dangerous game, fighting wildfires from the air.
Well,
And the job as a pilot, I wouldn't want to do.
Well, and because there's been a couple. There was it sort of last year and then the year before? I think there was sort of one each year where there had been a terrible incident while they were trying to help. I can't remember whether it was it when they were lifting the water and something went wrong, or it's not an easy task, is it? It's a very, very dangerous thing to do.
No, especially when you dump the water, the center of gravity on the aircraft changes rapidly, and if you don't control that properly, you can very quickly stall the aircraft. And as they're very low level when they do this stuff, there's not a lot of room to recover it. Not much of a problem in helicopters, but mainly in fire bomber aircraft. Now, I've seen a lot of the aircraft, especially at Malaga Airport, as it states in there, and they are purpose-built sort of firefighting aircraft where they do drop onto the water, scoop it up, and climb away. I don't think they've got any of the sort of aircraft you see in the States, like the big 747s and the DC-10 that was flying, which is currently grounded. And there's also somewhere, I can't remember where it is, there's some 146 firefighters as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The little four-engined British aircraft. But it's a dangerous game. There was a 737 as well a few years back that they were very lucky where, again, they were firefighting, got too low, and they actually hit the ground, but the aircraft remained intact and came to a stop, and everybody survived. I take my
737. That was like. So they were carrying the retardant before, right? It's not something that scooped up water.
No. So it was a retardant. Chucking retardant.
No, just imagining the engines kind of skipping along.
No, not one of those types. Yeah, the retardant filled with retardant. Yeah, and dumps it out the bottom. It'd be quite interesting to see a 737 try to take on water over a lake.
I think that might be.
They try it once.
Yeah.
That was February 2023, Andy.
Or was it?
Yeah.
Wow, that was a while ago.
Yeah, Johnson Aviation.
John Falk is saying that there was a sad incident that a wing came off, probably from the overstressing, of course. Yeah, good point.
That's happened a few times where the wings have just folded up again. As you said, overstressed, and the relief of the weight as well can have the opposite effect and stress it in the other direction as well.
Yeah, indeed. And yet, sadly, very much vital work.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And with the world heating up, as we all know,
not here. It's
fires, not here, no. But in other places,
I'm sure I read somewhere, right? And somebody please feel free to correct me. And it was on a reputable TV program, name of which escapes me. But apparently, in the event of global warming, the UK will indeed get colder. And I'm pretty sure that was from a reliable source. But certainly we're getting. I think it's safe to say we're all getting more extremes of weather. If you see what I mean. That's absolutely not in doubt, is it? Anyway.
Stick with you, Matt. You've got the next story and another incident with evacuation. Hopefully, they didn't do anything naughty.
Indeed, we're going to the Daily Express. For this one on that. So let's see how well they did with the story, shall we? It's it's Turkish Airlines plane fire closes. Is it Kathmandu? Is that right? Kathmandu Airport?
Kathmandu,
sorry, airport, as 288 people are evacuated. A fire broke out in the right main landing gear of a Turkish Airlines aircraft, which forced a closure of the airport and delays for passengers. Flight operations were suspended after a major airport was shut down following an incident involving a Turkish Airlines plane. The Trabzon International Airport was closed for 98 minutes between 6:34 a.m. and 8:12 a.m. on Monday the 11th of May, according to the assistant spokesperson for the Civil Aviation Authority in Nepal. It is believed that a fire erupted in the aircraft's right main landing gear. While leaving the runway, the wide-body plane became stuck, partially on taxiway Bravo and partially on the runway, which then had to be closed. Officials had to suspend all domestic and international flights. Initial reports suggested that a tyre on the aircraft's right main landing gear had ignited. Potential causes could include a hard landing, tyre pressure faults or other technical difficulties, officials have said. Passengers exited the aircraft via evacuation slides. 2 passengers suffered minor injuries to their fingers, according to Turkish Airlines. A total of 288 people, including 11 crew members, were aboard the aircraft, the Kathmandu Post did report. There we are. I always love it when a newspaper reports another newspaper.
Now, a tyre doesn't normally ignite. I would say this is probably the brakes that have ignited on this aircraft, because Kathmandu is at 4,600 something feet above sea level. So thrust reverse is nowhere near as effective as it will be at sea level, because the air's thinner, obviously. So it takes far more brake energy to stop the aircraft. So that's probably what has caused this overheating and a fire within the brake system.
I have reported on the Aviation Herald today, actually, Andy, that a preliminary report by the airline has indicated that the smoke was caused by a technical malfunction in a hydraulic pipe.
Oh, okay. So a technical malfunction in a hydraulic pipe. So it's probably split and gone onto the hot brakes.
Yes.
Which will then ignite
quite
the fluid, because the fluid is flammable.
I seem to remember when I was coming back from Copenhagen Kastrup Airport 2 years ago, the incoming aircraft, the A319, had a similar situation, and that was well alight as it turned on to stand, which was our aircraft coming back home. Obviously, we weren't going to be using that aircraft, but the fire department turned up, and it took a lot of foam to put it out, because those temperatures are extremely high on those. Are they carbon brakes on the Airbus, Andy? So yeah, they're designed to operate at extremely high temperatures. But yeah, it was well alight. It took a lot to put it out, actually.
Because you've got oh, sorry, John, go on.
No, go ahead.
I'm saying because you've got a constant sort of source of ignition. There's air all around it. It's really difficult to quash a brake fire, or hydraulic fluid fire on a brake system. It takes a lot to put it out.
Yeah. I want to commend the airport on a quite intensive manpower initiative to get everybody around the aircraft safe. There are a lot of people in high-vis jackets around, and in any of the pictures that I can see, not just of the very kind of in the aftermath, but also kind of with what looks like some of the evacuation. But I did see that the L1 slide, so the door that's at the very, very front and to the left of the aircraft, looks like it has been deflated. Now, there are pictures of people evacuating on that slide, so it definitely was used. But we were going back to taking bags and stuff. The danger is that you rip a slide, and it looks like that has actually happened on this aircraft. I'm trying to sort through some of the pictures and see which ones are AI and which ones are not, and which ones are actually.
And that is the problem we are getting now on social media, is that a lot of these pictures from these incidents are having the AI, thrown at them, which is frustrating.
Yeah,
you lose quite a lot of capacity if, available evacuation capacity if you lose one slide.
Yeah, especially on this is a 330, so not all the slides have 2 lanes so some slides are single lane, you can put one person down at a time. Some slides are dual lanes, you can put 2 people down at the same time. That one on the L1 on the 330 is a dual lane.
It looks like a dual lane, yeah.
Yeah. And if you lose one of those, that's quite a lot of people that you can't put down. And it looks like it was ripped on the side, which is you can't really use it as a you can't really kind of manually climb down them anymore once the side rips. If it rips in the middle, it's a little bit easier, but if it's on the side, it's almost impossible. But yeah, that's definitely a consequence of people bringing bags or indeed high heels or sharp objects but these things are made out of quite tough material anyway, so
yeah.
Mazouz is saying in the chat room, John, 1 lane for luggage.
I think that's what some people think. I think the theme here is leave your luggage behind, and Nev, take your high heels off.
Yeah, Nev.
Yeah, I mean, there is still a court case pending, but I'm prepared to do that.
Quite.
Right, we're going to stick with you, Nev, for the next story. And BA have announced something they're banning going forward.
Well, we haven't had a lithium-ion battery thermal runaway story for a few weeks, so let's have one now. It's on Aviation A-to-Z.com. British Airways has banned passengers from storing portable power banks in their overhead lockers, citing fears that the devices could overheat and ignite undetected mid-flight. The flag carrier of the United Kingdom, headquartered near London Heathrow Airport, introduced the rule last Thursday with immediate effect. The carrier has also barred travellers from using in-seat power supplies to charge their power banks. The change brings BA in line with carriers such as American Airlines, Lufthansa, Southwest Airlines and Emirates, all of which have tightened lithium battery rules following a serious fire on an Air Busan Airbus A321 in South Korea. The new policy mirrors recently published guidelines from ICAO, the United Nations agency responsible for global aviation standards. Well, ICAO issued the guidance after reviewing a string of incidents involved lithium-ion batteries overheating and catching fire on board commercial aircraft. This review follows a serious incident in January 2025, where a power bank inside a passenger's rucksack ignited whilst travellers were still boarding an Airbus A321 at Gimhae International Airport. The bag had been placed in an overhead locker. Cabin crew could not contain the fire once it spread, and although every passenger evacuated using the emergency slides, the aircraft was destroyed. Some airlines acted within weeks of the Air Busan fire. Others waited for ICAO and its member states to complete their joint safety review before updating the cabin baggage policy. Well, according to Paddle Your Own Canoe, the new BA policy closely follows the ICAO framework. Passengers must comply with the following conditions on every flight: a maximum of 2 power banks per passenger. Isn't that too many? With each unit not exceeding 100 watt-hours. Power banks must never be placed in overhead lockers during any phase of the flight. In-seat power outlets cannot be used to charge power banks, and power banks must stay within easy reach of the passenger at all times. Devices cannot be charged using a power bank during takeoff or landing. Travellers carrying more than the permitted number of power banks will not be allowed to transfer the extra units to checked luggage. Lithium-powered devices, including power banks, have been banned from the cargo hold for several years, and that restriction remains unchanged. Well, American Airlines and Lufthansa have already adopted similar measures, and Southwest Airlines and Emirates have applied strict limits, allowing only one power bank per passenger. The patchwork of rules means that travellers connecting between carriers should check the strictest policy on their itinerary before flying. Well, any device powered by a lithium battery, including smartphones, laptops, e-cigarettes and power banks, can overheat and catch fire through a chemical process known as thermal runaway. Lithium batteries contain multiple fuel cells, and when one cell overheats, the failure can cascade to neighbouring cells until the entire unit ignites. Well, we knew all of that, didn't we? However,
Yes.
I have another question for the flight deck crew. What item do you have in your cockpit? Is it an iPad by any chance?
Oh, we have 3 of them.
There you go. And what power source do you use for that to charge it? Is it from there's a USB on the cockpit somewhere, and it's charging a built-in lithium-ion battery, isn't it?
Correct. Yes. But we do have procedures for if it catches fire. My personal procedure is open the door and throw it out and let somebody else deal with it. But yeah, it's very true. As we now in the era of the less paper cockpit, where everything's on the iPad, which does save a lot of weight in terms of fuel burn when you think about the huge bags of charts we used to have to carry around with us and all of the company manuals and stuff. Everything, as in life, always has a risk to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But my real question on this is fabulous that you've come up with this. My airline has done something very similar. When I flew on Emirates, they didn't even allow you to use it in flight at all. But how do you make sure that everybody has got their power banks out of their bags without going through every single bag? You're trusting the general travelling public to do as they are told. And I don't think it's enforceable.
How do you police it?
Yeah.
It's very difficult to police, but I think a lot of airlines now are getting very good about putting this information everywhere. It is almost impossible to book a ticket with most airlines without them saying you can't bring a power bank on board.
Yes, it's part of the dangerous goods policy that you have to show to a passenger when they book a ticket. Because that's the law.
So it's at a booking point, but then also when you check in, it will not allow you to check in without a diagram and without a warning in such words. And I think there's another point as well that you have to maybe at the boarding gate there has to be signage or something as well. It's very, very difficult to get on board without having come across something that tells you that you shouldn't be bringing power banks on board. Now, whether people read that and follow that, that's a completely different story. But it is getting better to being publicized and being put there out in the kind of zeitgeist of people, or the traveling public, that it really is something that we need to take seriously.
John, have you, from a cabin crew point of view, has your company and other companies, have they had additional training in order to try and extinguish these thermal runaway fires?
Yeah, so pretty much every year we go through something to do with lithium ion. It not necessarily every year it's to do with fires. Sometimes it's to do with, again, how would you interact with customers if they do bring lithium ion batteries on board, and whether that escalates into, kind of them getting a little bit annoyed or a little bit put out about that, and what can you do about it? What authority do you have to take these devices away? And yeah, I mean, internally as well, policies have changed. So at my airline, the cabin crew are not allowed to bring power banks at all with them while on duty. The pilots are, and that's to do with the fact that the battery is always in sight and in reach for pilots. And they've got firefighting equipment again within reach. For cabin crew, it's not possible to hold on to your power bank and to be physically next to it for the entire flight. So it's not possible to have them for the cabin crew. And I personally agree with that policy. I think it's wise. I think that using the batteries on board is probably not a good idea. I've had several instances of the portable power banks being overheating on board. So yeah, it is scary. It is scary.
Interestingly enough, Jenny in Rome is saying in the chat room that I've decided not to bring a power bank with me when I'm flying. If necessary, I might buy one on arrival. And John is sort of suggesting that's probably quite a good idea. John Falk is suggesting he might adopt a similar practice. I have to say I am one of those that normally brings a power bank with me. I know, and I probably shouldn't, but... yeah, I don't know.
It's not a bad thing to bring power banks with you. The thing is, you can't forget where they are, and you can't be kind of blasé about leaving them in your baggage because things can go on fire very, very quickly in your in the overhead locker. You got to remember that if it's one power bank that catches fire, there are also other electric devices, and I mean this goes from everything from electric razors to your like computer mouse to phones to headphones to there's a lot of things that are in the overhead locker that have lithium batteries that are not power banks themselves, and those things will also get affected if something goes on fire. This uncontrollable fire can develop pretty quickly. I don't know if Andy, you have the stats on what exactly it is, but I mean, the time it takes to get uncontrollable is very, very small. It's in the single-digit minutes, as far as I know.
Oh yeah, it's less than 10 minutes. It's around 5 minutes. I think it's 7 minutes actually is a number that I'm picking out from somewhere, which I must have read somewhere. But it's quick. It's like think back to it's along a similar lines of remember the Swiss Air flight over Newfoundland where the IFE system caught fire. That's how quickly a lithium fire can take hold and it be game over. So it's something we have to impress on people that this is not to spoil your fun. It's really serious.
Yeah. And I mean, if it is in front of you, it's easy to see when it goes on fire. You'll definitely notice something overheating, and you'll definitely notice something producing smoke. If it's in the cabin and you're asleep, that's okay. There are other people around you. People will see it. That's why there are no smoke detectors in most airline cabins. They're not necessary. Humans are much better at screaming for help than a smoke detector is.
Question for the tech people here, Matt. You'll probably be able to answer this fairly well. And I know we joked about this before on the show when we talked about this kind of these batteries. But is it a case that if you buy a cheap battery, it will happen, or is this a case that any power bank could catch fire, regardless of if you paid £5 for or 50 quid?
Having worked in electronics myself, sorry, Matt. Yeah, I can say that it can happen to any. I think the issue is that with the emergence of cheap goods coming from the Far East, there's a lot of stuff that gets manufactured which isn't built to proper regulatory standards. And that's a bit of a minefield in so much as you don't know what you're buying and whether or not it's actually going to be a safe product. Sorry, Matt, you go ahead.
No, nothing to add to that.
So I'm guessing, with these power banks and stuff, I mean, there are brands out there which are kind of reputable brands. And I know, Matt, I think you've got like a fairly decent power bank.
I've got a couple made by Anchor that are pretty solid. I don't have a massive problem with where it came from. The thing for me, I think, is actually all about build quality, right? And sometimes you can have Anchor is not immune to there being a thermal runaway incident if it's been damaged or anything like that. It's all about build quality at the end of the day. The technology is more or less the same regardless of where it's built. I mean, that it is what it is. But if it's cheap for a reason, right? Potentially.
Yeah.
The most
I think
likely
that's
cause
the issue. Sorry, Andy.
And the most likely cause of a runaway is damage to the cell. Not the actual cells themselves. Like your expensive ones, they have protection built in to stop you overcharging them, etc. But the higher risk, and it can be for any cell, doesn't matter if it's a really expensive or cheap one, is if it's damaged, that can potentially cause the runaway to start. It causes the chemical change.
I think John Falk said in the chat room, are there statistics on how many where did that comment go? I can't find the comment, but how many incidents they have monthly, yearly, that sort of thing. The statistics are insane. Lithium-ion battery fires between 1991 and 2016 were at, I think, 160 thereabouts. From 3rd of March to the 5th of November 2024 in just the US. So this is the FAA statistics. There was 579, and that was in 2024. And it's kind of growing fairly exponentially. 2025 was a better year, as far as I know. It did go down very, very, very slightly, but that has a lot to do with the policies that many airlines are implementing.
Nick, let's move on with the next story. And bad news for Neb's favourite place.
Yeah, so this one's from theguardian.com, and the headline is Heathrow passenger numbers dip as demand for international travel ebbs amid Iran war fallout. The number of passengers flying from London Heathrow fell last month as war in the Middle East weighed on demand for international travel. About 6.7 million people flew through the airport in April, a 5% drop compared with the same period in 2025. And its biggest annual fall since March last year. The fall reflected the impact from the Iran conflict and short-term adjustments to travel plans, the airport said. However, the number of transfer passengers transiting for onward flights rose 10% in April, year on year, as travellers rerouting to Asia and Oceania, that was a good one, switched to Heathrow instead of using rival hubs in the Gulf such as Dubai and Doha. The US-Israeli war on Iran has triggered travel disruption around the world with flight cancellations, delays and longer journey times. Meanwhile, fears are rising that the oil crisis resulting from the blockade of Gulf tanker shipping in the Strait of Hormuz could lead to fuel shortages this summer and higher ticket prices. The chief executive of Heathrow, Thomas Waldby, said travel demand remains strong and current fuel supplies stable. He added that while passenger numbers in April were weaker compared with the same month last year, so far it had been the busiest month at the airport this year. However, Heathrow said it would review and update its passenger forecasts for 2026 next month. Its latest estimate had suggested there would be 85 million passengers passing through this year. The industry faces growing uncertainty over jet fuel supply, with prices averaging $181 a barrel in the week up to 1st of May. According to the International Airport Transport Association, roughly double the average price last year. Prices have risen due to the effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz, and more than a fifth of the world's oil normally uses that channel. Last week, the owner of British Airways said it would try to recoup most of a £2 billion hit in fuel costs this year through revenue and cost management actions, with fares likely to rise. Fears over fuel shortages have also been compounded by airlines in the UK successfully lobbying for the ability to cancel more flights without risking valuable airport slots. However, some reports suggest some airlines are beginning to cut prices for summer flights to try and prevent a delay in bookings. Analysis by the Financial Times found that airfares for a week-long trip in July dropped between 9th of April and 6th of May for 27 of the top 50 European flight routes to the Mediterranean. So I almost want to apologise, because it's kind of become a bit of a regular slot where we have to talk about fuel prices and impact on tickets, and looking for aviation stories over the course of the last few weeks. It has become rather dominated by this topic, unfortunately. So I don't suppose this is going to be something that's going to go away anytime soon. And I guess most of us are worried that it's going to impact our pockets.
I've just done a quick search again, like I did do last week when we covered a similar story to this, and the price of my flight in June to Malta has gone down.
Wow.
Not up.
Okay.
In price by 20 quid.
It's interesting that, there seems to be almost a little bit of hesitation, I guess, on the part of consumers. They're sort of waiting to see what happens, maybe.
And that's Ryanair.
Right.
So, yeah.
Also, you've got to think about the way people book their holidays. Some people do last minute, but most people, I don't know what the percentage would be, would say that they're looking to book for next year now, or the back end of this year, perhaps. Certainly, the way I see it is that most people tend to book a long way out. Yeah. Now, we don't know what's going to happen next year, but I really hope this is solved by then. But there's no fuel shortage. There's just a shortage of money to pay for it. So therefore, the airlines have got to recoup that from the fare-paying passenger, sadly.
Right, moving on. Matt, you've got the next story, and it's good news for us here in the east of the UK, as long as the prices are not ridiculous.
Well, I think we know the answer to that one without getting too involved. Evening News 24, which is the local rag for Norwich, has this story that Loganair celebrates a new route from Norwich Airport to Jersey. Loganair's seasonal Jersey to Norwich service took off on Saturday, coinciding with Jersey's Liberation Day. The route will run on Saturdays until the 3rd of June, when it will increase to twice weekly with the addition of a Wednesday flight. Ronnie Matheson, who is the Chief Commercial Officer at Loganair, said that the successful launch of our Norwich service marks another important step in strengthening Jersey Air's connectivity and providing greater choice for customers travelling to the UK. Launching the route on Jersey Liberation Day made the occasion particularly special as we continue to invest in services that support local communities, tourism and business travel. The Norwich route is one of 4 new services in Loganair's expanded summer 2026 schedule from Jersey. The airline will also launch daily flights to the East Midlands, regular flights to Paris Charles de Gaulle, oh well, never mind, and a new connection to Bordeaux. Paul Holly, who is the head of connectivity at Ports of Jersey, said that we're delighted to see increased UK, regional and European connectivity as Loganair further expands its base in Jersey. Interesting.
So, Matt, do you want to go to Jersey?
I know where this is going.
Do you want to go to Jersey this weekend?
Absolutely, I'd love to. Although, if it's this weekend, it will be at a premium price. So that's perhaps not a fair reflection on how much. So maybe go for 8 weeks' time and see what, you know.
Okay, we'll move that out. Let's go to next month, shall we? Let's go to next month.
Okay,
just
I'll
see.
accept that. Yeah.
Right, so if we're going to go for next month and we're going to head out, say, on the 6th of June, okay, and fly back the following Saturday.
Right.
That would come in just shy of £300 return.
I mean, that does sound like a lot, but I mean, what are the alternatives to get to Jersey? I mean, if you were flying with a different, I mean, what other airlines fly into Jersey, for example?
BA, EasyJet.
Okay,
EasyJet.
right. Okay, fair enough. So likely to be significantly cheaper then.
Well, if you've got a Saturday night stay there, haven't you? So that's probably why it's not as expensive as you might think. If you tried to go on Monday, go out on a Monday, come back on a Friday, that would be more expensive, I think.
So the bonus here, Matt, is you'll get your 21 kilos of luggage allowance included as standard.
Okay.
Complimentary in-flight service.
Oh.
You earn your
are they not
points.
all complimentary?
Well, and the last one, which they say on their website, is that you'll get a warm, friendly welcome from our local crew.
Okay. Don't really know what to do with that.
I mean, is it cheaper than driving to Jersey? I mean, if you drove to Jersey, I suppose.
Good luck.
Like that.
Yeah, I mean there'll be a ferry involved. I mean, I've been looking at ferries to Ireland, ironically, this last sort of week or so, and they were surprisingly eye-wateringly expensive, which took me a little bit by surprise, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, I don't know. I'd love to go to Jersey. I've never been to Jersey. I would love to go and visit, certainly.
I used to love Bergerac.
Now,
right.
If you went with KLM via Amsterdam, you would save yourself around £100.
Oh
wow!
And you get to experience Schiphol.
Yes.
I don't know if that's a bonus.
To be fair, going out, it said you'd have to be on the 6 a.m. flight and you'd arrive at lunchtime in Jersey, so it's like 6.5 hours. But coming back, the layover's not that long. It's a 4-hour trip back. Is it worth it for the £100 though?
What would you say, Nev? What would you prefer? Straight there or?
Oh, I think if money is the key driver, then yes, take a split flight like that and go via Schiphol. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Travel advice from PTUK, as always.
Oh, let's set up our own travel agents. There's a little side hustle for us.
Yeah. Nev,
how many flights can you cram into one trip?
Yes, that's probably the type of stuff we would sell, isn't it? It'd be for enthusiasts. So you want to do a day trip, sir? Okay, we've got 8 flights lined up for you, at a cost of £325. That's quite a good idea, actually.
Newcastle to Amsterdam, we could get you there in 12 flights.
If you need a guinea pig, I'm fully on board with this idea.
Yes. This is going well. Hey, we've got some support in the chat room as well. Right, Nev, we're off to Cardiff.
We are, and this is on the Herald.Wales website. It says Cardiff Airport is helping shape the next generation of aviation professionals through a growing partnership with Cardiff Metropolitan University and Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Students enrolled on the BA Honours Aviation Management degree are getting hands-on experience inside the live airport environment, spending time across departments, including airport operations, safety and security, customer experience and commercial operations. Alongside classroom learning, students are also taking part in work placements and real-world consultancy projects designed to prepare them for careers in the aviation industry. The course launched in 2022 and has already seen students move directly into jobs at Cardiff Airport during and after their studies. The programme combines Cardiff Met's business and management expertise with Cardiff Airport's operational knowledge and Embry-Riddle's global aviation perspective, with a strong focus on sustainability, innovation and operational resilience. The first group of students graduated last year, with another cohort due to finish this summer. The degree has also received recognition from the Royal Aeronautical Society, reinforcing its standing within the aviation and aerospace sector. Cardiff Airport CEO John Bridge says that the partnership is a strong example of industry and education working together to develop the aviation workforce of the future, whilst programme leaders say that the goal is to create graduates who are not only academically qualified but genuinely work ready from day one. That's good, isn't it? Some more education and some more work opportunities. That's exactly what the aviation business needs, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of makes me want to go back 30 years, Nev, to be young again.
Oh, you mean start again? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Need to build that time machine.
You and me both, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing like operational experience to.
All right, just because you're younger,
cut your
John.
teeth. No, it's true though. I mean, like, to be honest with you, you know, traditional classroom education is not everything, and especially when you're in something with operations that are as lively and as changeable and as intricate as aviation. Yeah, I think it's great that they're pairing up with Cardiff Airport.
Mind you, Andy's only young as well. Bless him.
I'm all right. I don't want to change my career, thanks. I'm quite happy.
Oh dear. Right. Nev is he's on his way back. Don't panic. We've got the next story lined up ready for you, Nev, and this is quite an interesting one actually, with everything that's going on in the world at the moment in regards to aviation. And we were literally last week on the show talking about insurance and stuff for when you do.
Yes, isn't it Nick's story next though? Story 8.
Yeah, you've missed one again.
Oh, I missed one.
You missed one.
Oh, apologies.
Wow.
Go on, Nick.
Standing by. Yeah, so this one.
It's the beer.
Have another.
The beer.
This one's from edinburghlive.co.uk about a man from Bristol. So not very local to them, but there we go. So talking as we were earlier about trying to fit in lots of flights, the headline is, "I'm visiting all 120 destinations my local airport flies to." A self-confessed aviation enthusiast from Bristol is on a mission to visit every single destination served from Bristol Airport, and he's already ticked off 86 out of around 120 destinations. 44-year-old Neil Loft has spent the last several years systematically travelling across Europe and beyond, often using ultra-cheap airline fares to squeeze in as many destinations as possible. Neil, who works as cabin crew, completed 21 trips last year alone and even managed 3 separate countries in a single day earlier this year. Good man. During a trip based in Basel, Switzerland, Neil crossed into both France and Germany within 24 hours, visiting St. Louis in France for coffee before heading into Ville am Rhein in Germany for drinks, all using public local transport and free visitor travel passes. He says the entire 3-country adventure cost him just £3 in transport. Neil says his background as a travel agent, holiday rep and cabin crew member has helped him master the art of finding bargain flights and travelling solo. He claims some of his flights have cost less than a taxi ride into Bristol city centre, highlighting just how accessible low-cost European travel has become. With 7 more trips already planned this year, Neil says he's well on track to complete his challenge and hopes more people will realise just how easy it can be to explore multiple countries from one short-haul base. So I'm going to open up a challenge to our listeners, I think, that with our earlier conversation about sort of we basically set a travel budget and then see how many flights we can get in on one day. And I'm actually,
one day?
Yeah. Or
not
over
within
a
the
week,
budget, just one budget, one day.
or over a weekend, say. But
Wow.
I would actually be up for doing this.
I think that's quite a good challenge.
Yeah.
I think
that's
it's
great.
podcastable as well.
Yeah.
You could make a little series out of this, Nick.
Oh, YouTube, here I come. Yeah, I think it'd be quite fun, actually. So, yeah, if anyone wants to get hitting the aggregator websites, and I'll have to think about what my budget is. But yeah, I could think this would be something my son and I would be well up for.
Well, you've just doubled your budget there if it's 2 of you.
Well, yeah, there is that. But there we go.
Where are they?
It would be interesting to see how. It would be interesting to see how far you could get in a day if you booked it far enough in advance.
Yeah, taking myself and my son, with ideally our start and end points being London Gatwick, and see how many.
Why London Gatwick? Is that just because it's nearest to you, or
It's kind of most convenient for where my son lives.
Okay, cool.
And we could get there kind of first thing Saturday, get back Sunday night, and then see where we can go in between.
I think you can fit a lot of flights in that time. But then the next question is, how much time do you want to spend somewhere, or do you just want to spend 48 hours in tin tubes?
Yeah, pretty much. It's trying to get as many stamps in the passport and on as many different aircraft as possible.
There's another problem for you.
Yeah, stamps and passport.
Entry exit system.
Yeah. Yes, looking forward to that when I go on holiday in July. It's going to be.
Yeah. So what potentially you could do 12 flights, but in reality you could probably fit 3 in with the hours of queuing.
Yes. Okay, I've just gone off the idea. Thanks for that, Andy.
No. Plain Talking UK travel agency should help you out and sort this for you.
Okay. Can you create some speedy ingress and access through the airports, please?
I can't abuse my power. Sorry, mate.
Anyway, that's a nice little challenge for our listeners, I think. So let's see what people can come up with.
You can get to Alicante in Spain for $16.99.
That'll do.
Yep. There we go.
That's what that'll do. Just do the one flight. Just stay there. Yeah. Nice and warm at this time of year.
Yeah. I'm sort of slightly regretting that I didn't come and meet you in Barcelona earlier in the year, Andy. That was.
Yes. Was that in January? It wasn't that warm.
No, but even still, it would have been.
But the beer's still cold.
Yeah.
The beer was very nice, I will admit.
Right, Dev, can we have some compensation, please?
Well, possibly, but let's have a look. I've got a question at the end of this, which I don't know the answer to. So perhaps you fellows could inform me. It's on theguardian.com. It says the European Union has warned airlines that cancelling flights due to fuel shortages this summer will not automatically exempt them from paying passenger compensation. EU Transport Commissioner Apostolos Kostas, I think it's a Greek fella, told the Financial Times that rising jet fuel prices and supply problems do not qualify as extraordinary circumstances under European passenger rights law. That means airlines operating within EU compensation rules could still be forced to reimburse passengers for disrupted journeys. The warning comes as fuel costs continue to surge following escalating tensions involving Iran and disruption around the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important oil shipping routes. Several airlines, including Lufthansa and Aer Lingus, have already cancelled some flights, and amid operational pressures linked to fuel availability and pricing. Meanwhile, Ryanair says it does not expect to cancel flights because it locked in fuel prices through long-term hedging before the latest Middle East crisis escalated. The airline says around 80% of its fuel needs are secured at roughly $67 per barrel, far below current market rates. The UK government, however, appears to be taking a slightly softer stance post-Brexit. Reports suggest that rules around penalties for cancellations caused by fuel shortages have been eased, although officials insist there's currently no widespread shortage of aviation fuel affecting British airports. Adding to concerns, Tony Fernandes described the current fuel situation as worse than the COVID era for airlines, saying some carriers effectively woke up to operating costs tripling almost overnight, which is true. However, I don't know the answer to this question. Don't airlines have insurance against this sort of situation if they have to pay compensation because it does not qualify as extraordinary circumstances? I'd be interested to know the answer.
If it doesn't qualify as extraordinary circumstances, then they don't have to pay a penny.
Okay, right. Interesting. Yep.
That's EU 261 was set up to ensure that compensation was paid when it was required under the strict set of rules. But now this Transport Commissioner has just given carte blanche to the airlines to not cough up.
Yeah. Interesting.
Would you class it as extraordinary circumstances?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I would as well.
I don't know, though.
But
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting. I'm going to argue the opposite. I think that if you are cancelling flights because of the cost of operation, because fuel went through the roof, I don't really think that's extraordinary circumstance. I think that's just business.
You're too young to remember the 1973 fuel crisis, John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm afraid even I am.
Yes, I know. Everybody on the show is apart from me. That was a big moment. That was also before compensation was payable as well. And also airlines would hike up I think I'm right in saying, hike up the cost of your flight, even if you had already paid for it.
Oh,
I think I'm right in saying that.
Oh, wow.
But that was a long time ago. Very long time ago.
I know there have been conversations, haven't they, where they're sort of we had oil companies here doing something similar, didn't we? Like oil. Carlos will know all about this, with the heating oil and stuff. And we had companies that were cancelling the pre-done orders, if you like, where customers already paid for it, and then changed it. I mean, do you think if things carry on the way they are, could we see a similar situation here for aviation fuel? Could we see a similar model to what you've described there, Nev, essentially?
No, I don't think so. No. I don't think the airlines have the appetite.
I was going to say balls
for it.
I think people would be a bit cross.
Regardless of what the rules and regulations are. I really don't think. I mean, they'll just take it and they'll get the revenue from somewhere else at some point.
Yeah,
having just recovered some of it from COVID, 5 years ago, so 6 years ago.
Most revenue, especially for low-cost airlines, comes from onboard sales. That's where they actually make the money. It's the ancillary stuff. So, as Nev said, I don't think they've got the appetite to do that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think with most of the low-cost, or at least the ultra-low-cost, your break-even point is kind of when you just about get to the airport, and then everything after that is profit. And that's how they make their money. And they're making, some companies are making ridiculous amounts. Ryanair has huge profits every year, but the vast majority of that is ancillary revenue. So every scratch card makes a difference. Every panini makes a difference.
I mean, that is bonkers, though, right? I mean, you sort of think that it's a weird scenario where the actual method of transportation is the loss leader here? If you see what I mean.
Well,
bonkers.
it's break even point,
Yeah.
but you need a. They always say it's about the last 2 rows of seats in reality where you start when you fill an aircraft where you start to make a small profit, and then everything on top of that, the ancillary stuff, all of the 5,000 small cans of Heineken sold on a trip down to Spain somewhere. That's where the money is.
Right. Yeah. Fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dirk says in the chat room, he says, anyway, they'll make up some reason to cancel, regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, the price of airfare really, if an airline is just using price of airfare, the profit margins are so tiny. Isn't it Richard Branson that said the easiest way to make $1 million in aviation is to spend $1 billion?
Yeah.
How about that flight that I sent you, Matt? I don't think Ryanair are going to make much of a profit out of that. Are they?
No. I'm having a little trouble getting the image across, but yeah, absolutely. It was Norwich Airport to Alicante with Ryanair, $16.99.
But so again, that's that seat. They sell that one. The next one's $17.99. Then by the time they get the back of the plane, a week before, it's up at 150, 200 quid a seat.
And of course, that's one way. I dare say the flight home is a little bit more expensive as well. That does seem to be a thing.
That's another way to get. You can get out there cheap and want to come home.
Yeah,
that's another matter.
Have you ever tried to book last minute on a low cost airline? I mean, like truly last minute, like within the kind of last 3 hours before departure. They are some Ryanair flights that are in the 4 figures for an hour and 20-minute flight. Just, because it's last minute.
Well, I'll try it in a few weeks' time, John.
You're going to attempt it?
Yeah,
I'm gonna have a look.
Yeah, the night before we fly out to Malta, I'm going to go on their site and see if I can book a flight and see what the difference in price is between what I paid and.
I think that again, it has to do also with where you're flying. If you're going to fly to somewhere that is not particularly business related, if you're flying to a business hub into the city of London, if you're flying into I don't know, Frankfurt or any of those major hubs for financial services, business, that sort of thing, and you're doing it start or end of the week, and you're doing that last minute, that's when it's going to be really, really, really expensive. The like Nev was saying, the flights that have mostly sort of recreation or holiday passengers, they are booked out quite far in advance, and the dynamic pricing doesn't need to be as aggressive because it's kind of predictable what people are going to pay for it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Matt, if me and you can go to Alicante return for 30 quid, I'll be well chuffed.
Oh, that'd be very acceptable. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, definitely give that a go.
Here's an example of sort of the dynamic pricing. I've just looked. If I wanted to fly on the Newcastle Dublin flight tomorrow night, so it's not really massively last minute, it's 145 quid one way. If I want to go next Tuesday, it's £16.
Wow. Okay.
On the same flight.
Goodness.
Yeah.
In fact, the flight next Thursday is £20. So that's how it starts ramping up. And that'll go up, as John said, that'll go up even further tomorrow morning.
Supply and demand.
True enough.
I have seen London to Madrid flights with Ryanair for just over £1,000.
Wow. Blimey.
I want seat 1A for that in business class, I think. With a lounge. At least. I don't think BA ever do $16.99 flights, do they, Nev?
I've never seen one yet. No. I think I have paid, what's the cheapest fare ever? I think I've paid £52 one way to go to Edinburgh.
Good. Cool. That's better.
Yeah, but that's not proper seats. That's in the cheap seats. But yeah, I think that's the cheapest I've ever paid one way. But then probably the return fare was 200 quid. You know, like once you start doing that.
Yeah.
So, also, the flight times are critical as well. So, on those shuttle type services, there's a huge range of price variation between 6 o'clock in the morning and 9 o'clock at night, depending on when you're going. The cheaper fares sort of during the middle of the day, quite often.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Last story for this evening, and finally story. Thanks for putting this one in, Nick. Don't know where you found this. I really don't. Comes from paddleyourown.canoe.com, and there are some pictures with this as well. You'll be pleased to know. The headline, CBP stops traveller with an entire cooked pig in his luggage at Detroit Metro Airport.
Yeah, I'm not putting that picture up.
Customs and Border Protection stopped a man travelling from Togo with an entire cooked pig in his checked luggage after he stepped off a flight at Detroit Metro Airport earlier this week. CBP Director of Field Operations in the Michigan Airport, Marty C. Raybon, shared an image of the pig, which had been wrapped up in black plastic bag, in a post on the official X account. Although there are no direct flights from Togo, a small West African country sandwiched between Ghana and Benin and Detroit, presumably the man had transited through an airport where customs checks aren't required. For example, Air France flies from Togo's capital, Lome, to Paris, where the man could have caught an onward flight to Detroit. His bag would have been checked through to his final destination and not subject to customs checks in France. On arrival in Detroit, however, the man was pulled for secondary screening, where the whole cooked pig was discovered. Raybon points out that pork products are generally prohibited due to the risk of introducing African swine fever into the US. According to the US Department of Agriculture, while African swine fever is harmless to humans, it's a contagious and deadly virus for pigs. So far, the US has avoided any outbreaks of the African swine fever on its shores, and the USDA states it wants to keep it that way. While the USDA and CBP do allow canned pork and commercially packaged shelf-stable baked goods containing pork into the US, all other pork products are prohibited. The whole cooked pig is an unusual find, although it's not rare for travellers from West Africa to bring with them local delicacies for friends and family when they are travelling abroad. One of the more common imports is dried fish, which is not regulated by the USDA, even if it can pose a bit of a smelly challenge for some passengers. So there we go. Note to oneself, don't bring pork-related products into the US.
Don't take them anywhere.
Or anywhere.
Yes, not just the US. UK's not keen either.
I think you made a bit of a pig's ear of that story, Carlos.
Oh, you're such a swine.
All right, don't get your tail in a twist.
Oh.
Unbelievable.
Maybe we should trot on to the next story.
Can somebody mute Nick, please? Too much.
I have actual.
He's had a whole show to think about this.
I saw him feverishly typing on his keyboard. Like, he's coming up with puns here. That's exactly what he's doing.
Jason,
I want to know why this man decided it would be a really good idea to cook an entire pig. Or maybe he did it the night before and went, oh, no, I'm not going to be able to eat all this. I'm flying to Detroit tomorrow. I know what I'll do. I'll bag it up and bung it in my suitcase. Where's his clothes? Like, where's all of his stuff that he needs? It's a whole pig.
Jason Trussell is saying that so pigs can really fly then.
That's got me there. He's beaten me with that one.
What, even you're offended by that one, Nick? Wow.
Excellent.
No, I'm just annoyed that I didn't get that one myself.
Yeah. Oh, the shame. There we go. Excellent.
As long as no one wants any pepper with their pig.
The joke quality has come to a squeaking halt.
Oh, dear. Darren,
We can always rely on the chat room.
Yeah, Darren Smith is saying they are baking him to stop.
Oh dear.
So does this mean I can't take my... take my bag of bacon fries to the US when I go.
I think bacon fries is very different. For one, I don't suppose it's actually been anywhere near any form of pig.
I can check. I've got some hanging on the pub wall. I can check if there's any actual pig.
Have a look and see if there's an actual pig.
Jason Trussell, hello to you in the chat room, says in his luggage he had a pig in a blanket.
Oh. This actually reminds me of when I was a kid. My dad used to work for an American company, and a couple of times a year he would go over to the States on a business trip. And this was before we had Pizza Hut here in the UK. And he would actually stop at Pizza Hut on his way to the airport on his return home, buy the biggest Super Supreme that he could get his hands on, and then pack it in his suitcase and bring it home. And quite often he would get it home and it would still be warm.
My word. That's dedication, that is.
Yeah.
Richard Adams has suggested that he's scratching round for another joke.
Oh, dear. Right. Moving on. Swiftly.
Could we, please? Oh, swine flu, anyone? Oh,
dear.
Swine flu, anyone? Oh, dear.
Don't encourage them, honestly. Right, moving swiftly on. Nev, we're handing things over to you to introduce the next thrilling part.
Thank goodness for that. It was getting seriously out of control there, wasn't it? It's the Retro Airline Ad of the Week, and this week it's a 2-ad treat for you as we head back to 1985 and to the birth of Emirates. Then we go totally tropical in the 80s with an airline that flies that smile. But can you guess the aircraft type?
It have a smile out there, coming from right in here, coming from the soul of our shores, and you know that smile is truly yours. That smile come from you, and it come from me too. Keep it flying forever, because that smile is truly yours. We gon' fly that smile, with pride and style, with an engine that roars like a lion for a cause. Be we, truly yours.
I mean, the thing I'm most impressed by is such old adverts having stereo. That's very exciting. I'm impressed. Have they been remastered or something?
I don't know.
Wow.
I've just trawl the interwebs to get those, but interesting.
So, I sorry. Further technical questions. I did require follow up. Nev, when did they start doing? I know the broadcasting on adverts and stuff wasn't until. Oh, I suppose they had stereo sound in the cinema quite early doors.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, don't forget the Beatles, many of their albums were in stereo. So going back to 1964.
And they were never meant to be in stereo. They were always meant to be mono, designed in mono, and then they made them stereo to sell them.
That's very true.
That's a Beatle nerd fact for you.
And it's also, it wasn't very good either, was it? It was all
no, it was just left
hard
left.
left, and it was not great.
Indeed, yeah. Anyway, sorry, you were saying, Carlos. I do apologise. Sorry.
No, it was just interesting to see that Emirates one, going back to the beginnings there of what is now a rather large airline that operates a rather large fleet of aircraft.
So I hear, yes.
Yeah, but the L1011, the good old L1011. And hopefully.
Genuinely, have you considered counselling at all, Carlos? Because your obsession with said aircraft is becoming a concern.
Hey, I haven't brought a piece of aircraft for a while now.
Not because you haven't wanted to.
Well, that is true. But moving on.
It's only because, as I say, there's a ban in the household. That's why.
As a true TriStar fan, which model of the TriStar was that,
here we
Carlos?
Go. That was the 500.
Oh, yes. Your credentials are sorted there for being the true diehard TriStar fan.
Which
That's a
was
difficult phrase to say.
Shortened long-range version of the TriStar.
Oh my God, I've nodded off.
What was the standard model? What?
Well, it depends, because they done a 200, a Dash 200, but Delta operated more of the larger versions. I think BA had the Dash 500s towards the end there, and the BA ones were sold to the Royal Air Force and used as tanker transports.
Along with who else?
Pan Ams.
Oh, yes, there we go. That's enough TriStar questions for now.
Darren says that Emirates' first A300 was leased from Pakistan International. There you are.
Oh, PIA. There we go.
As was the first 727 as well. Yeah.
Right, it's time to move on to some grey stuff. Nev, you're happy again this week, aren't you?
I am. It means that I can sit back and listen to other people talk about military.
What's up, Bogies 13550, Angel 16, heading 340. Okay. 100 Bogies.
Hey team, over the past 7 days, the air war across the Middle East has remained relatively stable from a tactical standpoint, but strategically this picture is becoming a little bit more complicated. Air operations are now directly tied to shipping, energy markets, regional alliances, and the long-term military balance across the Gulf. Increasingly, the geopolitical effects may matter just as much as the strikes themselves. Across the last week, U.S. and coalition aircraft have continued routine strike, patrol, and surveillance operations across the region. There haven't been any major surges in strike activity and no new confirmed losses of U.S. manned aircraft. Although, I got to reiterate, as I was looking back at the numbers, not making the news, there have been 24 to 25 MQ-9 Reapers lost, several MQ-4 Tritons also lost. So they don't make the news like the manned aircraft, but we are actually losing. I think it's upwards of about 56 aircraft that the U.S. has lost between the manned, unmanned, and then strikes that have hit the bases on the ground, like helicopters and things like that. Fighters continue to handle most of the day-to-day missions, supported by those drones and the ISR aircraft, maintaining that continuous coverage across the Gulf and the surrounding region, to be honest. Aircraft carrier operations remain active, with 2 carrier strike groups still operating under central command following that departure of the USS Gerald Ford after its extended deployment that we talked about last week. At the same time, tanker transport activity remains pretty high. Open source tracking over the last several days continues to show KC-135s, KC-46s, C-17s, and reconnaissance aircraft moving across Europe, Israel, Bahrain, and the entire Gulf region. So operationally, the whole system remains just a little bit steady. Strategically, though, the region is shifting into what we think is a longer-term posture, although everything is volatile, as we've discovered over the last couple months. So what stands out this week is that air power is no longer shaping the battlefield. It's shaping regional politics and economics at the same time. The clearest example is this whole thing about the Strait of Hormuz. Even during periods of lower strike activity, military aircraft remain heavily involved in protecting those shipping routes, monitoring Iranian activity, supporting maritime operations, tied to keeping traffic moving through the Gulf, whether it's moving or not moving. All of that, of course, matters globally. A large portion of the world's oil, the natural gas, fertilizer supply still moves through that waterway. as you've seen all over the news here, even limited disruption immediately affects energy markets and commercial aviation fuel prices, as I'm sure we've talked about on the show today. So when you see those tankers, the surveillance aircraft, the carrier aircraft, helicopters operating in and around that Strait of Hormuz, those missions are not just military, those are economic security missions. At the same time, regional countries are adjusting how they operate. Saudi Arabia and UAE appear to be taking a more active security role than earlier in the conflict. Reuters, and there was some other reporting over the past week that indicate that the Gulf states are now willing to take a more direct role in defending infrastructure and maritime traffic after some repeated Iranian missile and drone attacks. That's a pretty significant shift. Historically, the Gulf states preferred to operate under a strong American security umbrella while avoiding direct escalation with Iran whenever possible. Now, after those attacks on ports, energy infrastructure, shipping, and some of those countries appear more willing to act directly, air power, of course, is central to that response. Fighter, drones, ISR aircraft, tankers, those aircraft give those countries the ability to monitor large areas quickly and respond before threats become critical infrastructure. Israel also continuing to expand its long-range air power capability, plans for additional F-35I and F-15IA squadrons, combined with that incoming KC-46 tanker fleet. That shows that Israel is preparing for the sustained long-range operation beyond short-duration strike campaigns. And from the U.S. side, we're seeing similar signs of long-term adjustment. The Air Force is now openly discussing active defense systems for tankers and cargo aircraft, essentially giving traditionally non-combat aircraft the ability to detect and potentially defend against missiles and drones. Now, most of our aircraft have defensive capabilities, but this is more of a connected network that the U.S. is exploring. That tells us something important, that the assumption that support aircraft can safely remain far from danger is fading. Tankers are no longer operating in a completely protected environment, and because those tankers are really the backbone of sustained air operations, protecting them becomes a strategic priority. Carrier air wings, like I said, remain part of that big, broader strategic picture with those 2 aircraft carriers still operating there. Naval aviation continues to provide flexibility, rapid response capability across the region. Those carrier aircraft are supporting those patrols, escort missions, airspace management, and maritime security missions. They also give commanders mobile air power that can shift position without relying on the fixed regional bases, which we now are seeing are potentially threatened or under attack. All of that, again, kind of matters politically as much as militarily. Carrier presence reassures our allies, signals commitment, gives the U.S. the ability to respond quickly without negotiating additional basing access, which has now become slightly contentious. Operationally, the carrier air wings remain highly integrated with land-based aircraft, tankers, ISR platforms. It's not a separate collection of separate operations. Now it's all just connected regional air power system. A few other additional developments stand out this week. Satellite imagery analysis published over the last several days suggests that Iranian strikes earlier in the conflict caused more damage to regional U.S. bases than originally reported. That has likely accelerated some conversations around hardened shelters, dispersal, and base defense systems throughout the region. At the same time, reconnaissance activity remains high. That RC-135 Rivet Joint aircraft is a signals intelligence aircraft, the P-8 Maritime Patrol aircraft, which has a multitude of sensors, drones, other ISR platforms. They continue operating across the Gulf and the Eastern Mediterranean. That's another sign that this has all shifted into a long duration operational environment, which I guess it just is what it is, right? So persistent awareness and information is just as important as strike capability. Another thing that stands out this week is how regional air forces are repositioning themselves politically as much as militarily. One of the clearest examples this week was Egypt. Over the last several days, Egypt deployed a detachment of Rafale fighter aircraft to the UAE. On the surface, looks a little routine, but politically that matters. Egypt traditionally tries to balance its regional relationships carefully, particularly between the Gulf states and Iran. Deploying fighters to the UAE sends a signal that regional Arab states are becoming more aligned around shared security concerns. Especially around the missile threats, the drones, and the maritime security that's so critical in the Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz. The Rafale, the aircraft itself, is a very capable platform for that role. It gives Egypt a modern multi-role fighter aircraft capable of air defense, strike, maritime operations, while also strengthening that interoperability with its Gulf partners already operating advanced Western aircraft. That broader alignment is becoming more visible across the region. Saudi Arabia, UAE, Israel, now Egypt are increasingly operating inside overlapping security concerns tied to Iranian missile and drone activity. Looking ahead, it's again, the question is whether this remains a contained regional air campaign or evolves into a broader long-term security posture across the Gulf, because at this point, air power is doing more than striking targets like we saw in the beginning. Now it's just shaping the balance of power across the region, assuring long-term security. Who knows where this is going to go? That's the air picture for this week. I'm Armando. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you next week at PTUK 600. We'll be there in person.
It still doesn't seem real, does it? PTUK 600.
No, it's scary.
600.
Of course,
Might know
that's
what
more
we're
than
doing by
600, really, isn't
1200.
it? But yes. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. If we include all the various little specials and stuff, it's probably about 630. But anyway, we'll cross over.
But
Bit of artistic license there.
A little bit of an artistic license, as you say. Yes.
right,
indeed.
thank you, Armando, for your video as always this week, and we very much hope that you can continue to do that every week going forward for the next 400 episodes. So thank you.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, right, we are going to have to start to wrap up the show. So a quick round robin before we wrap up tonight. We're going to start with you, Nev. What are you up to this weekend?
Well, just double checking we've got everything sorted out for the 600th show. And of course, we've not got a show next Wednesday as we would normally have, because we'll be busy getting everything ready for the Friday. So the next show is the 600th on Friday, the 22nd of May, live from Duxford.
Exciting times. And Nick?
Well, I'm going to get my the shoe polish out for my make everything look nice, and then I might have to break the iron out from a PT UK shirt. Although you're a dab hand at that, Carlos, so maybe I should have got you to do it.
I'll be very disappointed if he isn't bringing his iron with him.
There'll be one in the room, hopefully.
Yeah, right, yeah.
How about you, Andy?
I'm home the rest of this week. Nice weekend at home. Then I'm off down to Gatwick next week before I then head up to Duxford. So, as usual, busy.
And John?
I'm actually not sure, to be honest with you. Bit changeable in my part of the world. So, yeah, don't really know.
And me, not a lot really. Just a nice quiet weekend, meal planned in a nice village on the coast, and plenty of time with Dave and Nigel. That'll be a nice weekend. Right, that's it then. We are going to wrap up episode 599 of the show. Don't forget to tune in next Friday. If you can't be with us at Duxford in person, don't forget to tune in next Friday to the live show from Duxford.
And that will be at 2:00 in the afternoon UK time. So it's not an evening show, it's an afternoon show. So don't forget that. It's 2:00 in the afternoon.
And we will try and bring you some awesome visuals as well. I'm sure Matt and Nev have got some things planned for visuals, so you can have a look at Duxford and get some good video from there while you're watching on YouTube. So yeah, looking forward to that. And many of you in the chat room will see you next week as well, because a lot of you are going to be attending the 600th as well. So looking forward to seeing and meeting some of you for the first time. It's going to be awesome, isn't it, Nev?
Yep, we're looking forward to it. So hope everybody's travels work out well and you're travelling safely as well. So we look forward to seeing all those folks that are coming next Friday.
So that's it for the show. thanks for tuning in. Thanks to all the chat room for tuning in tonight. Thank you for everyone for joining us in the chat room as always this week, and thanks to everyone who downloads the show as an audio podcast as well, because many of you do. Thank you very much indeed for downloading us each week. We really do appreciate it. So from me, Carlos, here in the home studio, from Nev in his home studio, from Nick in his home studio, from Andy in his pub studio, and from Matt in the PTUK Master Suite studio. Have a great rest of the week, and Nev, for the last time before the 600th, say goodbye, Nev.
Yep, have a good one, and we'll see you next week on Friday the 22nd. Bye for now.
And there we are.
There we go.
5
in the can.
9 9.
Well,
Wow.
there we go, everyone. What can I say?
Wow.
I just realized we've run out of episodes on our show notes.
Yeah, I was just
have we?
thinking that. I was just
Yeah.
because I got a week off next week, but then
Oh, yeah.
after that, I'll need to.
I don't know. Do we
crack on
need
with-
to make a new notebook or?
Another one I've got to remember to log into.
Yeah, no. I think we'll just keep the same notebook because this one isn't really running as slow as the last one was it?
No.
The last one got very, very slow.
Yeah, but how many was in the last one? The last one, we went from 304 to 514.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah.
True enough. Although we still have the syncing issue, don't we?
Yeah, we'll have to put a few more pages into this one.
Yeah, that sounds like a problem for next week.
We'll need small graphics from 601 onwards.
Oh, yes, true.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you finished that quiz yet?
No, to be honest with you, I haven't even started. I got called out to fly, so yeah.
Yeah. That'll be done.
I'll put a lot of effort into my part of that, John.
Oh well, good news. I have
that-
day off tomorrow, so I will take a very good look at that. And
There's animations in there and all sorts.
There is, I can confirm.
ooh.
Yes, and
Just to confirm, I don't need to bring any kit with me.
no.
Preferably clothes.
Yes.
I probably, yeah.
Yeah, that too.
I normally do wear
Shoes would be
clothes
good
when I
too.
go out in public. But
Good,
thanks for the
good.
reminder, Andy.
That's all right. I know the Southwest's a different world, mate, but you've got to come into the civilized world for this.
Well, especially if I'm going to be giving you a lift to the station on Saturday, I
You
would
will.
imagine you'd rather I was.
I should probably stop offending
to
you
the
now. I've
station
just
from where?
realised. Oh no,
The station
'cause-
is about 10 meters away.
correct. But on Saturday, it's a bus replacement service from that station.
Ugh, filthy.
And if I wanted to go home from that station, it would be a bus to Cambridge, then the train south from Cambridge to Stevenage,
Ooh, no.
then a train from Stevenage to York, where there is then a bus replacement service between York and Darlington, and then a train from Darlington to Durham.
Right. Okay.
That's
So
not great.
if I go from Stevenage, it chops out the 2 hours of faff with Cambridge and Stevenage.
Yeah.
Right.
So Nick has kindly agreed to give me a lift out of Stevenage to go from there. So I will stop offending him. He's one of my best mates, and I really look forward to having a lift from him on Saturday.
Sorry, I haven't done my Geordie accent in a while, so I think we're all.
That's true. And to be fair, you haven't been offensive towards me in the show opening notes as well for quite some time.
No, that's true. I need to work on that.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, absolutely.
It's pretty good.
It's all a bit too nice at the moment. Indeed.
We'll all be on our best behavior for the 600th, and then 601. That's just going to be
wheels are going to fall off. Yeah,
carnage in the show notes.
Absolutely. Well, I've got
And not forgetting as well the lovely evening we've got planned, haven't we, Nev?
Yes, dinner. And then prizes are being awarded for the quiz winners at the restaurant. So that should be a bit of a laugh. And Andy and Armando are going to be hosting that part of it, as well as the quiz itself during the day. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, yes.
We've got people coming from far and wide. I'm very impressed. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's going to be really nice to meet quite a lot of people for the first time. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Very much so.
Right, we better say good night to the family and let you all get on your merry way on this Wednesday night. And say thanks again for tuning in tonight to the show. For those of you who are in the chat room who are joining us next week, we shall see you then. So have a lovely time rest of the week. And sign off, Nev.
Yes, thanks very much, Steve, for joining us for the penultimate show before the 600. So we're all very excited about it, and looks like the weather's going to behave itself as well. Temperatures between 22 and 24 degrees next week.
You've jinxed it now.
So there we are. No, it's going to be fine. It's always going to be fine. So in the meantime, have a great rest of the week and the weekend. Don't forget, we're back on Friday, the 22nd, 2 o'clock UK time for the live 600 show. In the meantime, bye for now.